my my.
Your
Oh,
t-shirt.
we started.
I've started it, mate. I've gone fucking straight in there.
Just gone. Yeah. Not time to change.
Nah, no time. No, dude? I like the jumper. Keep the jumper on.
Oh, thanks, man. Cable neck.
Oh,
well,
there we go. Well, there we go.
Those of you on the listening through the podcasts through Podbean.
Not anymore. Well,
no,
kind of. It goes for all of them now because I use Anchor. Anchor's good. Anchor's good because it takes your link or whatever and just puts it everywhere. So
does a lot.
Does a lot.
Oh, that's good.
So all that and ahhing I did with Podbean trying to get it onto iTunes should have just done Anchor.
Yeah. You've done Anchor.
So
I listened through
you fucking Anchor.
What a waste. What a waste of time.
What a waste of effort.
Yeah. But it's funny, isn't it? Like there are so many things where you're like, oh, there's a much easier way of doing that.
Yeah. And to be fair, I've always wanted to use this phrase. I was a little wet behind the ears.
Little wet behind the ears. Yeah. You know, it's a learning process, isn't it? Everything's
a learning curve, mate.
Everything. Yeah.
You know, every day's a learning day.
There's definitely a Brent quote, isn't there? There's like there's one that would fit there, but I can't remember what it is.
Probably. There's too many, mate. There's too many.
Different drinks for different people. Vodka, lager, vodka, Coke, and then
different drinks for different needs.
Different drinks for different needs. It's that scene. That's the scene where he interviews the young lady who obviously he finds attractive, and you've got him sort of like getting ready for it, right? And the best bit of the whole scene is you've got him and he's sat behind his desk getting ready and kind of he's got the paperwork and all that lot. And they go out and they get her and he comes back in and he's like perched on the front of his desk.
On the desk, just like rubbing his thighs.
And she sits down and it's just like, oh my God.
That's what I love about The Office and Extras is how cringy it is, and it makes you want to just like, no, don't do that. There's a bit in that same scene where he has her CV, and he goes, oh, and we'll just put that there. It's like oh, and he headbutts her.
So it's so good. So, and I mean, I think I love the UK Office. I've got into the US office of it as well. I hated it.
I need to ask you about that then.
Yeah, well, I hated it at the beginning when they were doing the same stuff, right? Because they took the UK script and the US script and they didn't, and it was like, well, it doesn't really work. But then when they move beyond those first few seasons, the later stuff does work because now they're not doing the character the Jim character that we know and love. It's John, whatever his name is, Jim.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, because I watched the first episode and I was like, this is the same but worse.
Yeah. Persevere with it. Do you want to just skip the first 2 seasons? Just jump into season 3. And there are some absolute wonderful bits in there.
Just wonderful bits.
Yeah, I know. I was how many times did I say wonderful? I think
just too many.
Times.
Probably how many too many times you said it.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was one time too many at least. I think 3 is the most number of wonderfuls you ever need.
Anyway,
4 wonderfuls walk into a bar.
Yeah. Hat trick appearance.
Yeah, 3rd time.
If we were on Soccer AM, I would have given you a match ball. But
do you get a match ball on Soccer AM?
Yeah. Well, you used to before it got like I don't even know what's happening with it anymore. But when it was Tim Lovejoy, you'd come on and you'd get your match ball.
Would you?
But you'll have to just wait for that.
Do I get the match ball at the end of the match?
You might do.
My hat trick.
Who knows? Just nick one because they'll be given to us by Maidstone United. So I'll have that back pocket.
Oh, I'm having one. Yeah.
Just do it.
I think.
Just do it. But welcome back, Chris. Welcome back. It's been a while.
Yeah. I mean, it's life, isn't it? It has been a while since I was last on, I suppose. But always nice to be back on. I've been listening to a few episodes recently.
That's always nice to know. You're my only fan.
Yeah, but not in an OnlyFans sort of a way. Can we just make that clear for anyone
Well,
listening at home or watching
sometimes you might get.
unsolicited? I'm not paying for it.
I'm not paying for it.
Yeah, I think that's the business model, isn't it?
Do men do it? OnlyFans?
To be honest, I'm not up
I
on
don't
my
think it's a man
OnlyFans.
thing because men just go, "Here's a dick pic. What do you think?"
I guess it's sort of like, why would a woman pay for something that they can
That they get
unsolicited for free, and provides very little value for them as well.
But also, who are these blokes that are buying it? Porn's free. Well, this took a turn.
Yeah, this took a turn. Yeah. I mean, this is a really valid point. To be honest, I've not really thought about the economics of OnlyFans befar, but yeah.
Unless it's someone like that isn't a porn star.
Let's listen to. Well, if it's a porn star, then presumably they're already doing for free, available somewhere else. So let you tell your wife who it is that you think. I just sit back and wait. So Kate and Donna.
She doesn't listen. Donna listens. So sorry, Mum.
These are the people that I'd be interested in paying.
But no, I wouldn't be interested in paying. I'm just saying that these sort of people are probably the ones that attract it. Yeah. Famous women.
The famous is. Okay, so like a blue tick.
Yeah. Like non-porn star, hot famous woman.
Yeah.
Who goes, right, I'm on hard times, pandemic. I'm not going to Dubai at the minute.
You've made it sound really quite exploitative now, haven't you? Like, yeah.
Because that's what it is, isn't it?
It is exploitative, yeah.
It's the influencer type, we might say, the ones from Towie, fucking Love Island, them lot. They're like, oh shit, I got to do something. Here's my tits.
That sounded like David Brent again.
Anyway, what's been going on in the life of Chris Smith?
What's been going on?
Back at work properly now?
Say again?
You back at work properly now? Or are you still...
Yeah. So
you know what I mean, in person.
Yeah, no. No. So
absolutely fucking not.
Absolutely not. So over last summer, like this time last year, because of proper pandemic and stuff, and no school, obviously I kind of was working only a few days a week because I had to look after the kids because we didn't have any childcare and stuff. And so that was tough, trying to do too much work in not enough time. But yeah, we're not face-to-face teaching or anything like that. I mean, now obviously the girls, Ivy's at nursery, Imogen's at school. Yeah. But now the girls, so that's fine. But we're not doing face-to-face teaching. I've been to Manchester. I did one day of face-to-face teaching on the 1st, like early in September. And literally, I mean, COVID just ran through student halls. You stick a load of people in a block of flats that are all like 18. It just ran through the whole lot of them. So they very quickly moved away from face-to-face teaching to online. So no, not been back in there. So I do all my teaching on Zoom, or I pre-record videos and stuff.
What do you prefer as a lecturer? Do you prefer doing it face-to-face, or are you quite happy just to...
I prefer it face-to-face, but I mean, I think any students who are listening, because I'm sure, I imagine...
I've got all the students, mate, all of them. They all listen.
Yeah, well, that's what I hear.
That's my main,
target demographic is 18.
That's the word. Yeah, see, that's why I have you on. Big words that aren't made up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, collective is also a word that's not made up. So what were we saying? So for any, I think face-to-face teaching is by far and away better. I like sometimes having recorded videos, because what happens is for a lecture, you tell them, hey, read this chapter of this book, turn up, and then I'll teach you more interesting stuff about it, right? And obviously they turn up and no one's read the book. And if Definitely they did it the first week, no one's read the book. So you turn up and the students haven't done the work that you asked them to do, particularly at undergraduate. And so you kind of have to teach everyone from basic anyway. Whereas if you can give them a video to watch, then they can do the learning the easy stuff without you. And then you can teach them the more difficult concepts to layer on top of it, right? So that I think is quite useful and quite powerful. But I think what you need to kind of bear in mind, and this is gold for your audience who, you know, normally listen about mental health and veterans and stuff, and suddenly we're talking about pedagogy, which is like the theory.
Don't you worry about that. We're broadening ourselves.
Okay, fine. So but the problem is, you know, teaching, because I did one day of face-to-face teaching, and it was not the same as what I say is better than online, because I had to wear a mask. So all of a sudden my class can sort of hear this when I'm talking to them. And it's really difficult to breathe and project your voice in a mask. So I had to, like, I found myself like having to like change the way I talk just so I could get the words out.
Yeah.
They all have to sit 2 meters away from each other. They're not allowed to talk to each other in class. So normally I'll say, right, let's learn something. And then you guys talk about it in pairs, then share an idea in groups. And then I'll go around and get a couple of ideas from the class. I'm now no longer allowed to walk through the class. I'm no longer allowed to get them to talk to each other.
Shit,
and so, yes. So actually on Zoom, I mean, you're on Zoom now.
Love a bit of Zoom.
Love a bit of Zoom. So on Zoom, you know, you can have whiteboards where people can kind of collectively share ideas. You've got breakout rooms, so you can stick them into a room of a couple of people and they can have a chat. And there's loads of ways to kind of get them to engage with each other. That's much better than it's not better than being in a room face to face by and large, but it is better than being in a room 2 meters apart, not being able to talk to each other, and the person that's teaching you's got a mask on, and you've got a mask on too.
The whole mask thing in terms of teaching has got to be difficult, because obviously facial expressions helps.
Yeah, and you know, you've got to remember.
And you're like, are you engaging in this conversation, or I can't really tell.
He could be calling you a fucking cunt under his mask, mate.
They normally do under their breath, but and you've got to remember, a lot of my students aren't native English speakers, and so you've got to give them every chance they can to try and understand what you're saying. And so again, if you've got a mask, it's slightly more muffled, but also they can't lip read, and so, you know, my pace sometimes gets a bit fast for them when I'm talking. So again, I think that would make it even more difficult. But again, I have to slow down my pace of talking anyway, because I can't breathe properly through the mask to talk that quick.
To be fair, you talk fast. When you get excited, you talk fast.
Yeah. I was once, I had some feedback from an interview I did, like a job interview, and they said he got a bit shouty, didn't he? But I think I was just like excited to tell them.
You just went, no, mate, not shouty. I was so excited. Couldn't be more excited.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing.
Could have been more delighted, wouldn't there? Maybe. I mean, in some circumstances, yeah.
Like,
no circumstances.
No, I'm gonna throw this one out there, because obviously, as a lecturer, it's good. How am I going to phrase this? It's nice to be taught by someone who is passionate about what they are teaching you. There's nothing worse than having someone try and give you a lecture and you're like, fuck me, mate. Where's your je ne sais quoi?
Je ne sais quoi. Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Nothing worse
exactly.
than having a Mr. Burgess.
Burgess just didn't mind rugby, but he's a terrible basketball coach.
Basketball coach.
I blame Burgess.
He was a terrible rugby coach, in my opinion.
Yeah, he probably was. He now again, this is going to delight the viewers. But he took the mick out of me, because when I used to shoot basketball, I had like a really nice finish. He was our basketball coach in like year 8 or 9 or something.
Year 8.
And I'd like leave it up there, and he told me off for it. And then so I stopped doing that, and then my shot got really bad, and I didn't realize.
You always had a nice.
And I blame Mr. Burgess.
Chris Smith always had a lovely finish. Oh man.
Yeah, young Chris Smith.
Free throws, mate. Your free throws were incredible.
Yeah,
Practice.
Thanks, Robert. I think his name was Robert Burgess. If it isn't Robert Burgess,
who cares?
Whatever.
We don't really care.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, Do you know what makes me laugh like the most about
Mostly.
we'll call it high school, secondary school, whatever you want to call it, basketball. It was literally Tommo, Smithy, you could take it. When we were like year 9, it's like why are we coaching at year 9 ourselves?
Oh,
Did all right.
Yeah.
Did all right though.
We went,
but
yeah, I remember going to watch Steve play. So Steve's 2 years younger than me, and he was playing a game. I think it was like county championships or something. So I was watching from the stands, and then it must have been Bradley who was there. He beckoned me down because I was shouting something to Steve or something. I did this, that. I'd noticed something they were doing. I don't know. And he's like, "You coach." So I was just still on the shout line, just shouting orders at like the year 8s, year 9s, whatever they were. But you know, all Bradley ever did was he got us to do a fast break drill. And I tell you what, looking back at it, we would never have done that once in a game. Like not once did I rebound the ball, outlet it to you, then you pass it to the 2 guard, who passes it to the 3 guard, and then I would trundle the whole length of the ball to receive the ball back for a simple layup.
Simple, mate.
But that's all we did.
No, because what would happen was you'd get the rebound, you'd pass it to me, I'd dribble up my own ass for about an hour.
Yeah, and then there'd be a 24-second violation. And then we'd either score or we wouldn't. Such is the dichotomy.
But it's mad because I remember would have been Jack Pritchard Smith's year. So that would have been a year below Steve? 2 years below Steve?
It's been 2 years below Steve.
So I would have been in year 11.
Yes. Yeah, but Jess was, so Steve was year 9, I think, because he's 2 years younger. So
so
I don't know. Just
anyway,
Jess is the youngest.
So whatever that year, I was year 11, they were year 8. I took them undefeated to the county championships again, and then Mr. Bradley went, "Don't worry, Tommo, I'll take it from here." Hang on a minute, that's my team. They're running my plays. They're undefeated.
The plays that we designed.
Yes, our plays.
Our plays, yeah.
Yeah. They were undefeated, and then Bradley took over for the final, and they lost.
Was it a good team? Tenby, they were quite good.
It might have been. Do you know what? It might not have been might have been West Midlands, because I swear it was a team in Worcester.
Okay, yeah, that would be West Mids.
Yeah.
I mean,
whoever.
Unfortunately for us, I think the
year 9 it was
pretty appalling. Like,
George in Hereford, whatever. We were good, mate. Yeah. In Hereford, good. I would say we would. There was us in Haywood and maybe Tenbury because of that fucking guy, kid. Yeah, the shooter. Yeah, there was him and Mark Littlewood just shot threes, and we were like, "Well, how did you do that?" We can't do that. We could just score layups. But it was just us 3 teams, so we did all right. And then it was when we went out to play in Worcester or up in Birmingham, we were like, "What the fuck has just happened?"
Oh, I got to uni, and like, if we hadn't have done Hawks, there's no way I was making that university team, because like there are guys coming in, and like there was a guy who played. I think he played England under 18, but then it turns into Team GB, and he didn't make Team GB, which I think he said was under 21s. But and there were all these guys that are like proper drilled shooters. I remember. So I ran the team would have been my second year. And so we did Freshers Week, where all the new kids turn up, whatever. And this guy turns up in like these bright white, like Reebok sneakers, and starts picking up the ball and like dribbles behind his back a few times, and then he just goes and stands on the 3-point line and is about to take a shot. And I was like, he's definitely going to miss these. The people that turn up and just go stand at the 3-point line without warming up properly, they are always terrible basketball players, right? Absolutely. And he had like this quiff. Long black hair,
annoying,
and he nailed them all. He was this European, I think he's Polish, Lukas, and he was incredible, the best shooter I've ever played with. Like he just, I was like, okay, no, I'm wrong. He's in the team. Yeah, I need to go say hi to that guy.
I went and did a few little shoot arounds up here, or down here, should I say? Before the pandemic, and there was a lad like that. Really, like he was a young Steve Smith build.
Yeah.
Terrible build. No offense, Steve. Terrible build. But again, he was like, I would say NBA fucking line 3-point shooting.
So, yeah.
So a bit further out.
Yeah, back.
And he was just he had the shot and the follow through. I was just like, oh.
I've not seen a follow through like that since Chris Smith in
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's a follow through. But yeah, again, he didn't warm up. He was just fucking hitting these threes. I was like, ah. But mate, when I first started playing back again, my mind was doing things, but my body was like, mate, can you just chill out a minute? I was like, I'm going to cross this guy. My crossover was like my fucking signature. I could cross over anyone. I went to do it. It was like, it's coming.
Here comes the crossover.
Oh, he's got it.
Guy takes a step to the left, steals the ball.
Yeah. I was like, we'll try again next week.
Yeah. It's a good game, basketball.
I was just getting back into it, and then it all fucking went pandemic on my ass.
Me and, again, for the viewers of the show, me and, you remember Ed Kirk? And me and him, Nick Priest, we go down, and if I've said this on
you did say
before, yeah, so we go down and we play in the park down by us, and we were like, and then because it was pandemic time, but it was like legal to play basketball at the time.
Weird rules.
So all the kids were there like smoking weed and kind of being in the park, and they must have thought like, who are these old men playing basketball?
Because we are those guys now.
We're those guys.
We are now Big Z.
Yeah, we're Big Z. Yeah. I played against Big Z a while ago, by the way.
Still good.
Summer before the pandemic, played against Big Z. But it,
I
mean, they must have thought, oh, they're playing a special version of basketball. You're not allowed to run or jump. But no, we were just old. But then we did play, and a load of kids, college kids, turned up or whatever, and they wanted to play football. And so I said, "Do you guys fancy playing basketball?"
Hey, this is my court.
No, they said, "Do you want to play?" But we said, "Yeah, we'll play against you. We'll play half court." And it was me, Ed, and then Tal, who did play Hawk. He's a few years younger than us. And there was like maybe 5 of them. We were like, "We'll just play you 3-on-5." None of you are very tall, and you've all turned up to play football. And they were atrocious. They were like, "I don't know how you were moving so quick." I was like, "Well, partly because none of us are high. That's helping us."
They're like, "Hey, ma'am, how are you moving so quick?"
yeah. Like backdoor cut, and they don't even notice you've gone. We all had a massive height advantage over them as well, which I think
that always helps. Always helps.
Yeah.
I've never had that.
You know.
Would never know.
Would
never know, mate.
No. Oh, you played against a child, have you?
Oh yeah, I played against the girls before. Smashed them.
Bang. We went down the court, that basketball court, by the pharmacy. Again, good content for the viewers. The other day and at the weekend, because there's a park down there, and then me, Martha, and the 2 girls played British Bulldogs on the width of the.
Did you smash
court. I mean, I'd let Ivy get me because she's only 2. But she just liked shouting Bulldogs. I think she did get the game, but she just like standing in the middle, go Bulldogs, come at me.
Just fucking hand her off.
Well, we weren't playing takedown Bulldogs. I
should have done.
I didn't think that was fair.
Should have done. Should have just wiped them out, Chris.
To be honest, Ivy, I think would probably nail me on takedown Bulldogs. She is a unit at age 2.
Age 2, mate. Got more hops than you, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I sent you the video, didn't I? They're jumping over a cushion in slow motion.
Definitely, mate. Can't beat a slow-mo. Can't beat a slow-mo. The best
No.
slow-mo I've got, and he does listen, is Chris Dunn kicking a football.
Oh, is that the one that goes miles off?
The best thing is you can hear Dan Shipper, who's in goal, shout no. And I think Dan shouted no, and then I'm shouting Chris. So he's just fucking slow-mo going up to this ball and just pelts it, and then it speeds up at the end, and all you hear is no.
Did you lose the ball then? Because it was dark, isn't it? I've seen the clip. It's
dark. Gone.
Like, it wasn't like don't take the shot. It's like, Chris, we trust you so little. We believe if you kick this will be the end of the game.
Well, we used to wind him up, mate. We used to say he had happy feet. So whenever he got the ball, he just got excited, and his feet would go really quick. But yeah, Chris is always a good person to have in your team because he does all the running.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, he ran the London Marathon with pretty much no training.
I know because I listen to the show.
He just runs all day, mate. He's ridiculous. I'll give him that. I don't tend to give him many compliments because it's banter, isn't it? But
yeah. Why would we be positive to our fellow man?
Exactly.
Obviously, I'm saying that in the context of Granite Zero, where we should.
Exactly.
No, looking forward to the game, mate. I think I said.
You know what's funny? Everybody keeps saying, I say everybody, Kate, and Darren and my old man, they keep going, can Chris play football? As in you, Chris. And I'm like, how dare you? Of course he can. If you've never been down to the Boxing Day football matches, he's a rock.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean James.
He's a rock at the back. You're playing centre half, by the way.
Football. They've never been.
I did tell Darren. I said, Darren, Smudger's playing centre half, and he went, well, he's not. He's playing up front, and he's going to be Peter Crouch. long ball flick on. I just think it's funny that people assume that you can't play football because your legs are so long.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that their trust isn't that they're wrong. By the way, I'm just looking forward to carrying the whole team. I think
just carrying the whole team, mate. Just do it on your back.
Loading everyone up and being like, guys, I'm going to will us over the line with yeah. I mean, I know everyone will be looking to me for that moment of inspiration.
We'll all be looking at you just to wipe out Pascal Chimbonda.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be good, mate. It is going to be good. I don't know how.
I better get a decent amount of time, like having driven across the breadth of the country.
I'm mixing it up, mate.
How many players have we got? Are we on 42?
We got 16.
Okay.
So we got 18. You got 2 goalkeepers. Obviously, they're set. One is definitely going to only play for about 5 minutes, and that's the old man.
No, I heard him say that on the chat. He was like, I don't know if he swore at you, but he was like, I am not playing 5 minutes. I'm the only person to play international football on this team.
I'm not going to play fucking 5 minutes, boy. I'm telling you now, he will make a diving save.
And then he'll be off.
And then he'll go, that's me. I'm done. I'm completed it, mate.
He'll do a dive. It might not be a save.
He might not save it, no. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, he's going to come off. There's 16 players, and it is roll-on subs. And we are all in our 30s.
Oh, that's really handy to know.
And I don't think... That's for them as well, because they're all fucking old fuckers, apart from Pascal Chimbonda that can run all day.
Yeah. But we've got Chris Dunn for that.
We have. He's playing right wing back at the minute because I'm going to stitch him up so he does literally have to run all day.
Fantastic.
I did enjoy today, though, because obviously Spurs got smashed by United.
You smashed 2-1.
3-1.
Was it 3-1 in the end? Oh, my bad. I saw 2-1. I saw the...
We scored in the last minute. Last kick of the game.
Okay.
We did have like 14 shots in the second half, man. We did wipe the floor with them. Mate, I'm just gonna bring this up, mate. Right. I know you're not a huge football fan, but football is taking a fucking turn when Scott McTominay is using his limbs to protect the ball. All he's doing is protecting himself from Son trying to put a tackle in. Taps him on the face. He goes down like he's been shot by a Korean sniper.
Yeah.
Disallowed a goal. Disallowed it. So you can't be. It might as well. Basketball is more of a contact sport at the minute.
Excellent.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I assume this is coaching advice for me for the game.
Yeah, mate. Use the length. Chris. You've got some length. So that's why you've got an OnlyFans page.
I've got OnlyFans. Yeah. It's funny.
Just there like this. Here's my length. Oh God. Oh, brilliant.
But did you see? I mean, obviously you're interested in the football game. Did you see the basketball game last night?
I catch
Lakers.
Highlights. I didn't watch the Lakers now. You beat them, though, didn't you? Did you beat them?
Mate? We beat the Nets without AD or.
I was going to ask you about that because I saw a couple of the clips, and I was like, "Is that AD defending Kyrie?"
No.
And then I was like, "No, it's not. I don't know who that guy is."
Yeah, so Dennis Schroeder was sixth man of the year last year, and we picked him up over the summer, and
cheapest
he was
chips.
Cheapest chips. I think we paid him 23 million.
Cheap, mate. Bargain.
Yeah, bargain for Den. And so we beat the Nets, but without our team, they didn't have the
That's
bid.
a good win, mate. That's a good,
very good,
good fucking W. That because I've been this season more so than previous. I've been sort of dabbling in and out of games. I've been catching.
Philly are good this year.
That's probably why, because Philly are good this year.
Good.
Joe
Allen, he is a player.
He's a player. Yeah, and they need to keep hold of him and Simmons, and I think the players they brought in have been good as well. Seth Curry, discount version of his brother, is actually doing a very good.
He's a good shooter, isn't he? He's not as good on the handles as his brother, but he's pretty good at the.
Pretty decent family, if anything.
I mean,
but I believe, like with Steph Curry, he is like the epitome of fucking work hard.
Oh yeah. Have you seen his coaching report for his scouting report when he went into the NBA? Like under athletic, yeah, he can shoot a bit. Nah. It's like, guys, you messed up.
He fucked up.
Yeah. He's
the Warriors must have had a little inkling to it. Well, because obviously he went drafted to the Warriors, didn't they? They must have gone, ooh. He's going to be brilliant. Well, I'd like to think that. I'd like to think that one of their scouting coaches or whatever went, ooh. Or they went, Steph, if you don't fucking buck your ideas up, mate, you can fuck off. And he went,
right.
Yeah, all right.
Because, I mean, he's his dad obviously was in the NBA, so he did grow up around the whole thing. But do you know what's amazing? When you watch them shoot now, even like when they're way out, and the ball, it doesn't hit the ring, it hits the bottom of the net. The first time it contacts, it doesn't hit the top of the net or the middle of the net. It only hits at the bottom. It's like, that is incredible. Like the level of accuracy. Like if I shoot, it just like bounces around.
Oh, it goes. Yeah. When I shoot, it's like brick.
Yeah, brick. Yeah.
But yeah.
The bottom, the very last bit of the net is the only bit.
It's mad though, isn't it? How the game has changed. I think me and Darren spoke about this on a previous episode. That it is literally very little defense, or it seems it's literally I'm going to outscore you. That's how they play now.
Yeah, I'm going to outscore you. And
the likes of Dennis Rodman and Ben Wallace wouldn't really cope now in today's game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think obviously one of the things, the way they shoot now, they spread the floor a lot more, right? So the court is much. It's obviously still the same size, but the area that you have to defend is much larger because if you can shoot 2 meters beyond the 3-point line, you now have to put a person out that far. So now all that space in the
The
middle,
zone defense is pretty much gone. It has to be man to man.
yeah, but you've not got help either, right? So normally you've got a bit of help.
Yeah, yeah, and there's no help defense. So if he's got good handles, if he's got mad skills, he can take it past you and then do his little fucking drop step, and it's in.
Bam. Yeah, so it's a real and and everyone's shooting now. It's like even
Everyone.
Centers.
Fucking Embiid is a fucking good 3-point shooter. It's ridiculous.
Bad,
the only one that can't shoot threes is Simmons.
Yes. yeah.
He's got a terrible jump shot.
He does have.
I say that as if he's crap. Ben Simmons, terrible jump shot. Is it? He's better than me. NBA.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think if you were to line me, you, and the worst shooter in the NBA up,
I think I'd be the worst. I think I'd still be the worst.
Well, certainly one of us. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, funnily enough, being in the NBA, although there's like this, like some teams that are like trying to lose, aren't there, when they tank. But anyway, weird American sports. It is.
I do watch though. I do watch sometimes, and obviously they're not going to get every shot in, but sometimes you watch it and their shot selection, you're like, why are you shooting that? Terrible.
And actually, you used to watching the highlights and you like forget how often they do miss.
Yeah.
And then you watch like a full game, like, oh, they missed. Oh, they missed.
Yeah, you watch the highlights and you're like, it's funny because it comes up like, oh, he had a fucking brilliant game, scored 40 points, and you're like, is that it? I swear he scored every point.
Yeah.
You made out like he was the best player on the pitch, on the court, on the pitch. He's no. What was his fucking surname?
Gaunt.
No, Tom.
Crawford
Year 11.
Sharp?
Year 11.
Are you 11?
Yeah. Off the bench. Tom had glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Tom. Yeah. Quite lanky.
He took the fucking scoring title, didn't he? When we played Lady Hawkins and we beat him 108.
Oh, because we weren't allowed on the court, were we?
Me, you, Guy Thompson,
Adam Knight,
Bish, Adam Knight.
It was your bench.
That was it. We were all benched. We weren't allowed to play.
Yeah. I think didn't they like want to put one of us on their team to try and even it out? But
yeah, we went absolutely not, mate. I remember coming off the bench, scoring a 3-pointer, and then being told to sit down and not come back on again.
Yes, I remember that. Sit down. This is unfair. They're terrible.
They were terrible. We didn't let up though.
But do you remember, so we could have just put a starting 5 out where I was the second shortest player on the court.
We did have,
we'd have to play James Gale, who wonderful guy.
And his teeth smashed out.
I think that was subject to a police report, so I'm not going to comment on what happened there.
Yeah, the basketball bounced in his face. That's what happened. Not by me.
No, not by either of us.
Well, you were watching.
No, I don't think I was there. I
was there. I laughed. Of course I was. I was everywhere when there was trouble.
I thought you were saying when there was basketball. But no, I've got
just trouble.
I mean, the basketball's have all the trouble, so I'm going to pine for trouble.
Yeah, I'm trouble. Yeah. But yeah, he was a lovely chap. Terrible basketball player. Yeah. And they thought they would beat us in the inter-house. Interform.
Interform. I say inter-house. They were in our team. Interform. Yeah. That was Remember Ross Griffiths nearly killed me in that.
You nearly died.
Yeah, very nearly.
Did they even give a foul for that?
No. Chandler was reffing.
Yes, he was. He fucking launched you into the fucking table tennis tables.
Yeah, the table tennis was parked up on the end.
Yeah. What's wrong with Chris? Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, he's basically dead.
Are you going to sub him off? No, I need him.
He's quite handy.
Do you know what was the best, right? For those that are listening, right? So
no one is listening, Sean.
No one's listening now, but we used to do Interform and inter-house basketball and whatnot.
Darren might be listening.
Yeah, so into form, you had to have two girls, and then in the second half, 3 girls, or was it the other way around?
Vice versa, yeah, there was a...
And our logic, always, they play netball, they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Terrible logic.
They just weren't. I think they weren't so interested. And also, like, but is it? Yeah,
you only have 2 shooters in fucking netball.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, of course. Yeah, because you got like attack.
Unless your name is Sarah Gumry, you're not playing into form basketball.
Yeah, it's an odd thing. I would be interested if they still
they can, because how sexist is it? In theory, the girls get extra points if they score. They get double.
I mean, obviously, it's like trying to be a participation thing, and like I don't know, but it just doesn't make any. It doesn't really make any sense, because why? Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense.
They got Sarah Gumry, right? They beat us in the interform.
Yeah,
if you remember.
Not that you haven't let it go.
I am not letting this go, because she definitely shouldn't have been getting double points. We outscored them.
Hey,
I believe we only lost by like 2 points, but in theory, we didn't.
If we were playing by a different set of rules, we'd have won
by a lot.
It's like if we'd been playing by a different set of rules, which meant Sol Campbell didn't foul that guy when we scored in the Euros against Portugal, we'd have won that as well.
We would have won that as well.
We'd have won.
And in Argentina.
Yeah, we'd have won that one if we'd have been playing with different rules. So
let's rewrite history, if anything.
Yeah, we'd have beaten Wales if we hadn't. Did we have anyone sent off in the Six Nations?
Six Nations, no, but we had 2 tries that shouldn't have been tries.
Oh yeah. So if we'd have been playing with different rules, then
the fucking waterman was on the water boy was on the pitch.
That was. I mean, that's not Wales' fault, by the way.
No, I'm not. No, that's the
ref's fault. The ref has made a big error there by saying, "Yeah, go on, fill your boots, son." And he's like,
the water guy. Oh yeah, fuck him.
It's not even about the water guy. I don't think. It's just about like the fact he said, "Right, you talk to them," and then he's like, and they're like, right, "Okay, we've got to do this. We'll do this." Turn around. I'll go. Well,
weak referee, weak officiating. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Why not? Has he got an OnlyFans?
With a baguette on his OnlyFans page. Oh God!
Chris has his head in his hands, shaking. Yeah. I've been catching up on the old episodes. I reckon I've listened to the most Granite Zero out of anyone in the last few months, because I've been listening to them on my runs. I'm going running every day, mate. Say again?
Getting the miles in.
Getting the miles in, yeah.
You need to do like 45 minutes.
No.
But you want to do it fartlek, mate.
Do what?
Fartlek.
That sounds like
fartlek. If you did PE, mate, you would know. That's how close I'm getting to the mic right now.
If we want to.
Oh shit on that! Look at that.
Yeah, I know. This is my plants. Yeah. Would you?
Love that.
This is my ASMR mic. The best thing about it is if I want to mute.
Oh.
Yeah. So now if I know whether I'm on mute or not, mate.
Oh, that's naughty.
The uni bought me this mic, and
you went get fucked.
No, and it broke.
I won my purple dildo.
3 hours worth of work, so I spent 100 quid and bought myself a mic because I was like,
that is a sexy mic though. But yeah, fartlek training, mate. Basically, walk, jog, run, or walk, jog, sprint.
I need to do some sprinting, I think.
Have you ever sprinted really fast?
Yeah.
Not really fast. You've got a good stride length,
mate. And yeah.
To be fair, your one stride is about 14 of mine.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever seen the BFG when he runs?
Yeah, he's all gangly and nanny.
Yeah. Right, walk, run, jog, sprint,
Yeah.
roly poly, isn't it? Is that the one?
Yeah, do that. Roly poly at the end.
What's the intervals on that?
Whatever you
Like,
want
do I
to
just
do.
start do one pace, like slowly?
No, that's whatever you want to do. What I tend to do is I'll have a square setup in like 25-meter little fucking markers. Then you walk the first one, and then you jog really fast on the fucking
second one.
On the second one, so you go to the first cone, walk, or jog, sprint, jog, sprint, jog, sprint. And then relax.
Again, for those of you that are listening, Sean's just waving his arms, which are not squares. He's kind of doing.
It was a square. Do you know what I really loved as a kid?
Rhomboids.
Oblong.
Don't call it an oblong.
I think an oblong is a three-dimensional shape rather than
fuck
a
off.
rectangle.
It's a
It's
fucking
two-dimensional.
rectangle.
It's oblong.
It's annoying.
It's a good word, isn't it? Say it again though. You can't. In your head, you're going to smile when you say it.
Oh, I'm sure I did as a kid as well.
Oblong.
Giggling to myself. Oblong. What we do have to do, mate, while we're on the subject of just talking, because that's what we do, have to pay our respects, don't we?
Oh, to Phil.
Hey.
Yeah.
HRH, His Royal Highness, I have you know.
Do they keep the title when they died?
Well, no, he's now no longer the Duke of Edinburgh, because that is now Charles.
Probably a formal ceremony, isn't there?
Yeah, it will be, obviously, because he's got to have his little funeral and that next week.
Yeah.
Little state funeral.
State funeral, but 15 people attending, I guess. Is that the rules?
I'm guessing so. But everything is closed, though, isn't it?
Well, it's opening a bit tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, for his funeral.
Oh, so
you stop. You stop and watch.
What time is it?
It's 9:20, mate. Oh, chortle. I'm not sure, mate, if I'm honest.
Right.
But yeah, what a fucking bloke, though. And I love the fact he didn't mix his words. Could have been quite a subject of controversy, but yeah, he didn't fucking.
We talk about the subject of. I mean, it was like the thing with him. Yeah, he didn't mix his words. Like I know someone who was at a
fucking picture.
I know someone who was at an event he was at in Hereford, and
they have no eyes.
No, it wasn't that.
Duke of Edinburgh one.
No, it was like a business event.
Okay, sorry. How about I let you tell the story and
yeah. Let's play guess the event the Duke of Edinburgh was at. And so it was in like some marquee, and everyone's got these little stalls, and there's this defense company. As you know, Hereford's got lots of defense, not just like military, but like defense type companies. And they're talking to him, and they said, "Oh yeah, and we've got this client. We're working with Georgia, that and he's doing this." And they went, "Georgia, Russia," and he just walks off. Just doesn't want to know.
I ain't having any of that, mate. I'll fuck it off.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about him, I think, as you say, he just didn't care. And then so when there are some people making jokes or saying whatever, and you should pay respects, and I think he wouldn't care. He doesn't care.
No, he didn't. And I think
it doesn't matter. Say what you want. Like if you want to say something, say it. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care. That
sums him up, mate. And
he doesn't care what you say or think. And of course, someone, a family have lost an elderly relative. But again, he's going to be of that generation. One of my grand's husband died. So my granddad died before I was born. My gran remarried. And when he died, her husband, he was like, the thing I want to be useful. And he was like, I'm not useful anymore. I'd want to, donate my body to medical science. I want to do something. He was a farmer and then by the time I knew them, by the time I was born, they had like a little plot of land that they kind of grew all their vegetables on and stuff.
Brilliant.
Like he wanted to be useful and do stuff, and that's presumably what HRH wanted to do, not be useful and open and kind of like, oh yes, let's open a museum or whatever. But he just wanted to be doing stuff. And then
he was always doing engagements and whatnot, even at his age. Like, he was 99.
Yeah.
And he was still, up until basically they got admitted to hospital, and then when he came out, he did not look well though.
He didn't look well at all, no.
He looked like Lord Sidious.
Exactly. And that's why I think like he probably wasn't enjoying it, because again he's an independent military man who wants to feel like that he's making a difference and stuff. And so I think, you know, I'm not saying good or glad or anything, but he's probably okay with it. He got to 99.
99.
He had a very
99 struck out, unfortunately, but mate, it's so the day before my birthday was Kate's great nan's 100th birthday. Yeah. And we went round it. We managed to get round in the meter bubble thing.
Sure.
Basically, she's got a ground floor flat in the British Legion, and she's got her little garden, so we could stand in the garden, basically.
Yeah.
But she's literally just in a bed.
Mm.
She can't do anything.
Mm.
And it is as lovely as it was to see her. It was also But 100 though.
Like, I know someone who went round, this is pre-pandemic, and they went round to, again, a 100th birthday of an elderly relative, and the person had dementia or Alzheimer's, and like about 5 or 6 or 7 times, they said, oh, have you seen my thing from the Queen? They told her about the letter they got from the Queen. And because they just keep forgetting that they've told you, like, it's no quality of life. And I think that's one thing that, you know, I'm all for the preservation of life. But I mean, I think we need to understand, well, what is quality of life and what is worth doing. My gran, she spent maybe probably 4 years, maybe slightly less, in a nursing home with Parkinson's and then probably vascular dementia, not recognizing people. Like the last time I went and told her that me and Martha were engaged, right? We went after we got gone there, and she's in the home, and she'd be there and she'd be engaged, and then all of a sudden she'd glaze over. So I went and we told her and showed her the ring, and she was nice and happy and smiley. And midway through the conversation, she just glazed over and just left, right? And that was a common occurrence that would happen. And we stayed for a bit and chatted anyway. And then I went, and honestly, I kid you not, I didn't, from then on in, whenever I went, she didn't ever engage with me. And you know, that was probably 3 or 4 years, because I took Imogen when she was born, you know, me and Martha were engaged for over a year. And Imogen was a good, you know, running around. So she was at least 1 or 2. She died when Martha was pregnant with Ivy. So, you know, that's there's no point in like keeping someone alive who's not having any quality of life. And it's important, you know, I think it's something that we need to confront as a population, to say, well, what is worth for everyone involved, rather than just draining someone's financial resources until they've got enough money.
You've hit a strong point there as well. Is that financial stuff, isn't it? It's how much it's mad, isn't it?
But I think it's not about the money, but it's about compassion and being human.
Yeah, for normal people, but the people that are benefiting from.
Oh yeah,
they're like, have a bit more of that. Like for example, my nan has got I think she's got blood and bone and breast and all sorts of cancers. She's still going strong, might I add. Not strong-ish.
Yeah.
She's struggling a bit now, but she's in a nursing home, and she's still well with it. Her hearing started to deteriorate now, but she is like 91, so you expect all that sort of stuff. But the care home that she's in is like $5,000 a month or something. It's like, wow. But also, Thompson's, if you're listening, why didn't you get her into the British Legion. Because she was entitled, because my granddad was a World War II veteran and did 36 odd years plus, I think. So she would have been entitled to his stuff through the Legion, a bit like Kate's great nan, who's in the Legion. She got it because her husband was a World War II veteran as well. So if you've got the resources to use it, then why don't they use it?
Yeah.
But Thompsons didn't listen to me because I'm me, basically. But yeah, I think with the whole quality of life stuff that you were, it's that tricky one, isn't it? Because it's someone's loved one. It could be your loved one. As much as you're like, oh, she doesn't really remember me anymore, you're still trying to keep hold of that next little bit. Yeah. Like as hard as it is for me to say, Kate's nan now, who's got really bad. She's got. I'm no fucking doctor, mate. She's got all the dementia. Might as well just say all of it.
Yeah. Just
to the point now where she's now starting to when she's talking. She doesn't recognize Kate anymore. She doesn't recognize the girl. She only recognizes Kate's granddad, basically, because he's there all the time, and he is looking knackered. Bless him. But it's like when do you put her in the home? When it's tough, mate. Because
and I think we need to own the decision ourselves about what happens to us when we are at that stage.
Yes.
And so I think it would be horrible to say to me, I need to make the choice for my parents or for my wife, right? Depending on that situation. But I'd happily sign a piece of paper today that said if I don't know, if I can't talk anymore, or I've got dementia that is of this stage, and these are the these.
Yeah. You put the little things in. Yeah.
Help me go to the toilet, and I need this, and I need this, and I've been like that for 3 months, and there's no chance of recovery or no likelihood of recovery. I'm happy for you to just not even pull a plug. I'm in fact happy for you to inject whatever it is you need to inject. Make me go happy, crazy, die. Like I would sign that piece of paper today to say that is my wish. If that's my life, because I don't want to put my kids.
No, I get that, mate. I get that. Definitely.
And my mum said, like, oh, if I end up like her mum did, who was my gran in the hospital, like take me to the top of Hafford Road and just push me down Aldine Hill.
Mate, my dad said exactly the same thing. He said, if I end up being a vegetable, basically, useless, put me in the top of Aldine Hill, just let go.
Send me down, mate. Yeah.
Just say you slipped.
Yeah, just send it. Like, because honestly, like having watched what my mum made sure someone went to see my gran every day. My mum lived in Hereford, her sister lived in Hereford, and they had another friends of my gran who'd go. And between the three of them, unless one of her other siblings had come or me or my brothers went, one person would go and sit and spend some time with Granny every day, and that's lovely. But as you say about Kate's granddad, it is exhausting. Like just planning on who's going to do that then, or I need to go. I'm going on holiday, so I need someone to cover this. And putting that mental load on someone.
It's hard, mate.
And as you say, like, what is the benefit of what's going on? And no one knows what's going on inside this person's brain. I hope that they are like having the craziest, like happy, kind of drug-induced dream, and that's what happens to your brain when this happens. But we don't know. And
because they can't articulate it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I just think that there's lots of things that we could address, and I think if we were more proactive in legislating for those events where you have ownership over what happens to you when you get to that stage, but you start having that conversation now and all that stuff when you're younger, then at least, but people, euthanasia it has been used really terribly in the past. It is not a nice subject for people to grapple with, but I think it's about having an adult conversation. And we're living much longer than we ever did before. But so that means more people are getting into that state. And just yeah, I mean, never mind financially, because I'm not coming from it from a financial perspective, but it is a huge waste of money. But it's also just from a humanistic and compassionate sense. It's a much more.
I think it's like we sort of touched on a little bit. Nobody wants to make that decision for
Someone
Nan
else.
or for mum. But
Yeah,
if mum has already said, look, I've signed it, I'm at fucking sane mind or whatever the phrase is. If this happens, say your goodbyes while I'm still me.
Yeah. My friend, a good friend of ours.
I'd hate to not be me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Imagine not being you. And like, because the thing is, I won't know if I'm me or not, but there's someone else.
In my head, I've probably gone back to being, because this is what I like to think. They tend to keep the long-term memory, don't they? To a point.
It might be the thing that goes last.
Yeah, that keeps that's still going on in a loop. So they're probably still thinking I'm me back when I was 24, for example. And they're like, oh, but everything else is gone. They can't walk properly. They can't talk. But it's hard, isn't it? Because seeing Kate's nan now, she's got it really, really bad. It is upsetting to see, and you can see it affecting Kate's dad, but not dad. Well, yeah, dad, but granddad
as well. Right?
But with her, it's there's literally, you can't really see Brenda at all anymore. In my opinion, it might be hard for Kate to hear that if she ever listens. But there's loads of little things. But there's something about this disease that has these little fucking flip switches, and they go fucking mental, and they smash up the house and stuff. It's like Brenda would have never have done that.
Yeah. And like, it's chemical imbalance stuff. I mean, it really can make a difference. Like, hopefully she won't mind me talking about it. You know, my mum had a bone marrow transplant, right? And so she was quite poorly and all that stuff when we were younger. And
before you get into that, I saw your mum the other day.
Yeah, Hey.
And on a happy positive note, before you go on to this, I love the fact your mum has a set of earrings for any occasion.
Every occasion.
She had her fucking Easter egg earrings in. Brilliant. Janet, amazing.
Yeah, she might listen as well. You never know.
Continue.
Like the OnlyFans content, mum. But so she she was on this massive list of medication because of the bone marrow transplant, and literally my dad went full on. I'm going to learn about bone marrow transplants, and they had this A4 bit of paper with a line for every medication, when, where, and it was like 2 pages of A4 for all the stuff she was on early days, and one of them just completely messed with her brain and sent her crazy, like legitimate crazy, and she was just doing stuff and shouting at, my mum, she's just like she doesn't lose her rag at anything. And she called me up, so we're having to come home, I've had a big row with your dad. And I was like, what? My parents don't row, like, what's going on? And I spoke to dad. Yeah, exactly. And I spoke to dad. He's like, yeah, she's on these pills, they've made her gone crazy. She shouted at me, but like, she's crazy. But she's fine. And like, she shouted at Steve about, he did something tiny, bought something out in a bowl, not a plate, when it was something that legitimately should have been in a bowl, and she just like went to town on him.
Well, fucking hell, Steve.
Yeah, like literally
put it in a fucking bowl
in front of the family and it was just because whatever chemical imbalance, whatever it was that was in this medication, and then they took her off them, and dad was like, I think it's the blue ones, I've just stopped giving them to her and she seems fine now.
I think it's the blue ones.
Yeah, it's the blue ones.
My medical training has told me it's the blue ones.
Yeah. Phil Smith, I punched my teacher on my last day of school and walked out. It wasn't meant to be my last day, but it was. That guy, I just decided to learn about bone marrow transplants.
Legend.
Teacher as well.
But it is crazy though how certain things do give you the chemical imbalance.
Yeah. I'm kind of pulling this round to obviously some of the stuff that you've gone through, and I know you've talked about your medication.
Yeah, well, I'm not
on and off.
Don't take them anymore.
Well done, congratulations.
Wouldn't say I was fixed, but I can control
it's not. But I think it's not.
No, it's not about fixing.
I liked Al McGregor's bit on the gold, because I've seen that technique before, and his kind of take on the whole thing I thought was really
the Japanese. I can't remember what it's called now, but yeah, instead of fixing it with glue or whatever, you fix it with gold, because
celebrate the fact that it's been broken. Don't try and make it look like it was before, and people assume that it's the same. Actually build it out as something stronger and kind of adapt to it.
But yeah, with the imbalances and the impulses and the rage, I like to use rage. I've always been an angry person, as you know. But yeah, I can sympathise with your mum on the Steve bringing out the wrong thing. But when I started noticing I was having these sort of problems was with little things that the girls were doing. Like normally I'd be like, oh, never mind. Like they would drop a chocolate on the floor or knock a fork off the table. And I would go fucking spastic. Like, you can't even use the term spastic, but I'd go crazy. Hey, I was going to say mental.
I can't say mental. I
can't say mental. I can say what I like. It's my fucking podcast. I went fucking spastic. Now, I would go berserk.
Yeah, berserk. Oh, that's a great one. Berserk.
Yeah, and I would. And I would send them up to the room. I'd be shouting and fucking go nuts and all this. And then it's like, I would sit there and go, what am I doing?
Yeah, she's 6 or she's
4,
whatever. Yeah.
It's like, what the? She didn't deserve that. And like, even now, sometimes I raise my voice, I like to say, and I've got a voice like my dad where I can change it so it sounds like I'm shouting, but I'm actually not. And Kate looks at me, she's like, you don't need to shout at them. I went, for once, I actually am not shouting at them. But yeah, it is with the it's hard to control, and that's where like tablets do help. And it did help me. I just didn't like the feeling of being numb. I wanted to be able to feel emotions instead of just going, oh no.
So just kind of, because I mean I've never been on.
Yeah,
I really get your perspective. So obviously you were feeling the antidepressant kind of numbed.
It just numbed pretty much everything. And
so when you were coming off them, what is it that you kind of doled things down to kind of get yourself balanced, and then when you came off, you were trying to say, right, I'm going to deal with this now. Now I've got some perspective on it, or how?
Yeah. So I was always at the same thought process throughout the whole of my we'll call it recovery.
Yeah, why not?
My journey. I didn't want to be on tablets anyway. I wanted to be able to control it myself. But I got to the stage where me and Kate basically sat down and went, no, we need to try and balance you out. So that, you can observe and realize what are these little triggers you might want to use. What are these factors that are causing you to lose it, get upset, cry, get emotional, get angry, etc., etc. What happened was I was pretty much numb to it all, though. I couldn't cry for one thing, and then I wasn't really getting angry. I wasn't really feeling anything. I had no real desire either. Little things would happen upstairs in the bedroom that didn't want to happen. Not with the length, by the way. He was fine. He was 10 hut all the time. He was good. It was just the end product just didn't fancy working. Anyway, we'll digress. But yeah, and then when I decided to come off them, I did the stupid thing where I didn't take any advice and just went, I'm going to go cold turkey on this motherfucker. Where I should have gone, spoke to the doctor, decreased my milligrams or whatever it was, and then weaned off so that I would be balanced still. Where in my glory, I went, ha, don't need that. And then I went, whoosh, here, have all these emotions back if you like them. And then it was fucking watching things like Afterlife and just crying for no reason. Or I'd be super happy and then fucking shit and then happy and then angry. And it's like, oh God. And that's when I went on the Inner Armour course with Al.
Yeah.
And that's where he taught me to talk about this. Instead of just bottle it in and trying to deal with it myself, to actually sit there and talk about it or play with Lego. It's not just about playing with Lego. Headbutted that. And it's about talking about what is going on at that moment instead of just going, I'll deal with that later, which is what I used to do. And actually accepting that I do have these mental health issues instead of thinking, no, I'm gonna fix that right now, because it's not going to happen. As you know, I'm a very impatient person, but with this, I've been better. At the start, I was very impatient. It was like, oh, I'm fixed now. I've started a podcast. I've done it.
But I mean, I think what was interesting, because I listened to Al's, both of them, and I've been working in backwards order, and so I got to Al's. I was like, no, I have to listen to the part 1 and then part 2.
Yeah.
And when I realised, I listened to the first minute of part 2. I was like, oh, I need to go back.
Yes, because he did the coaching on me.
Yeah.
So part one, he did the coaching first.
Yeah.
We actually did the coaching. Then we recorded, and then I went and did the course, and then we did the part 2.
Yeah. So, but I mean, one of the things he said was, about having someone that, like that kind of whole Spartan thing where your shield protects the person next to you. So you're looking out for the. But one of the things I thought was interesting was, I think, because he's now saying actually what you want to do is you want to use these models to kind of think about your own sphere. It's actually more about saying, well, actually, I need to almost take that outside perspective and look at me, and I need to be the person who's holding the shield, but I just need to be able to detach myself from me and think about it and reflect back on what it is I'm doing and who I am. And, I've just snapped at the girls. Instead of just kind of whatever, I now need to think, well, why did I snap? What was the thing that caused it? Was it a legitimate thing?
You have to look at it in lots of different ways. One of the ways that is that you have to sort of take that. I call it a condor moment, where you take a step back and go, what just happened?
Yeah.
Why did that happen?
Would you call it a condor moment? I don't know what that means.
It's a military term where you sit there and have your condor moment and you have a fag.
Okay.
Take a second, basically.
Yeah.
Sit in your condor. I'll just say it. All right? I'll just say it. I don't know what it means. But yeah. But Al made a good point. He's also done Darren's podcast. I was on it with him. And he talks about having a rule of, not a rule of 5, have 5 people in your life that are all different. So you've got your friend who could be in his 90s, not a friend, might be a granddad or something.
Oh yeah, Al said I didn't know your friend, so I just started hanging around.
No, you don't need an older gentleman that can guide you in one way, and then you've got one that's you can sit there and you can have a long, deep, and meaningful chat. You've got another friend who you can just sit and fucking cry to. You've got another friend who you can have a rant at. You've got another friend who's just there to fucking pick you up, give you a laugh, that sort of thing. You have all these different people around you, and then they're protecting you from different things. You can use them and blah, blah, blah. It's what we call in the military a buddy-buddy system. You're always checking on each other, basically. And That's what people got to realise, and I brought it up on you might have, I don't know, you said you're working backwards, so I don't know if you heard the one with James Elliott where it's not.
He's the resilience guy, right?
Yeah. I think there's a few technical issues in that episode. I'm gonna have to try and get him back on again. We're no longer in mental health awareness. You don't need to cause it. We already know.
What we're doing about it.
Yeah, it's what we're doing about it now.
What was really cool, so I listened to his first, actually. So I listened to his before ours. I've just finished.
I've been trying to get them in touch.
Some of the best episodes I've listened to, Al's two and just Mason Jones, but not his one after his UFC fight, but the one after Cage Warriors.
Yeah, the one after his UFC fight. No offense, Mace, but wasn't our greatest one. I think he's done too many like chats. Not so much with me, but with everyone. He's like, I'm bored of talking about it now.
But his one after Cage Warriors was really like. There's this moment where he's like talking about what happened in the fight, and he's like, and I did this, and I had this combination, and these were this was, you kind of see it's like it is a game of chess in his head. He's like, and I had this combination, and I had this, and I hit him with this thing, and then I was going to do that 3 times, but I only needed to do it twice, and I mean that was like, oh my god, you get like a glimpse into the mind of a fighter, like shit, this is anyway. So those were quality episodes. That one with Mason and the 2 Al McGregor ones. But what was interesting, what was the resilience guy?
James Elliott. Yeah.
It was interesting. Like they're obviously both in the same area, and they're both really interested in what they're doing. But like the difference in the way they spoke about stuff, not in so much like they had a different take on it. It was just really. James was like still a student, whereas Al was like a teacher. Yes. James was like, obviously I teach students all the time. So he was like the grade A student knows all of the theory and knows all of the thing. And I'm going to talk to you through this and then this, and I'm going to talk to you about Freud. And then I'm going to tell you that this is the thing that's wrong with Freud. And then I'm going to tell you about this. And it was really cool. And I learned stuff, right? I was on my run. And I was like, I didn't know that. That's really cool. Oh, I didn't know that. That's really cool. And then Al is just like, he's like the prof. He's like, right, I want to learn. I want to go out and experiment on myself, and I want to do it wrong, and I want to learn from what went wrong.
He likes getting it wrong, Al.
Yeah,
he does like getting it wrong, and I totally agree with you. What I like about both of those guys was the passion that they had for it.
Oh yeah,
you could tell like I was saying earlier, the way they're speaking. Yeah. And I found with James, when he gets going, he's like a machine gun. He's like, what? Just take your foot off the pedal a little bit, because people have got to try and catch up. Like even while I was sat there and he was reeling it to me, I was like, fuck.
Oh, I loved it. No, I was like, cool, keep going. Tell me more. I want to learn. I need to know about this stuff. This is cool.
What also was a little bit, we had a time constraint. So we only had an hour.
Yeah.
Where, like, my last few of, we're actually over my hour now.
I know.
I'm only joking. The last few have only been an hour, because I don't want people to get disengaged. Because like before, it was like 3-hour-long Joe Rogan style fucking podcasts, and you're like, well, I can't listen to all that in one fucking. I want people to come back for more. But yeah, with James, it was just annoying. We were just getting going, and I wanted to start asking him like more personal questions to why he's so passionate about that sort of stuff. But that'll be for obviously next time.
Yeah, at least you can get him back, right?
And I haven't actually spoken to Al in a few, but we are, I get to say we're developing an app that is going to be released for the military and police, fucking first responders, that sort of thing. It's so basically what will happen is they will get through to a inner armor trained person that can help talk them through certain things. Yeah. It's still in the early stages, but we're all very excited about it. So that should be good to go soon. Not soon.
Well, the good thing about app, is like it knows who you are when you
Yeah.
So you've got all that information about whoever it is that's calling or is using that app to make contact. You can get a load of information about who they are before you even start the coaching session, right?
Yeah,
I mean, of course you go through it anyway, but this is our history. That's very cool, very nice.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on. But yeah, it's I've had some decent dudes on, and what I've been trying to do recently, and ladies, yes, I use dudes as a collective, dudes and dudettes. Sorry, yeah, I've been trying to move away from the dynamic that usually listens in the terms of the military stuff and whatnot. I'm trying to broaden the spectrum of the guests that I have on, so it's not just fucking MMA fighters. It's not just fucking military dudes. I have the likes of Dr. Chris Smith, and musicians and things like that.
By the way,
pardon?
You said I was a senior lecturer on the thing. How did you know that? I don't think I've ever told you that. Where was that? Was it written down somewhere?
Facebook.
It's on. No.
It's on your Facebook.
Is it?
Yeah, employment, senior lecturer at Manchester Uni.
What a knobber.
What a cunt. No, it's nice, mate. I liked it. It went down well with the narrative. Not that we spoke much about lectures and.
We spoke too much about lectures. You should cut all that content.
Just cut that.
Yeah.
Just put this last little bit in.
If anyone wants to learn about lectures, send me an email, and I'll send you some of my content on how to do lecturing. But yeah, you don't need that in there. I was talking about getting emails. Not that you're talking about it. There's a dude, Dr. Chris Smith, who's like on one of these Saturday morning TV shows. Who's like a pandemic expert or something, like on vaccines and stuff.
And you're getting his emails.
I get a load of emails for him.
Brilliant.
Each Saturday morning, I'll get like.
You're also the newsreader on
Chris Smith from the news.
Yeah,
that's me.
BBC.
Chris Smith from Radio 1. Yeah. Great.
When do we get to the age where we're too old for Radio 1?
Oh, I'm well and truly. I don't listen to radio anymore. Do you still listen?
No.
No.
No, I listen to History.
Mate, I'm Radio 4. Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a Radio 4.
Yeah, but do you know what's good about Radio 4?
I'm joking, because I knew there was. Do you know what? I knew I was old when I started listening to Talk Sport, right? Just driving around when I was in my work vehicle before I'm now in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd had Talk Sport on, and Kate would phone me up and she'd go, "What are you listening to at the minute?" So I usually either listen to a podcast or Talk Sport. I'm listening to Talk Sport. She went, "You are your dad." Oh, it's happened.
It happened. No, I don't think my dad ever listened to Radio 4. My mum. It's funny, isn't it? Getting old. Like, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely old now. Kids, they're great. They're amazing. Like, I wouldn't change them. I love them to bits. They make you old.
My kids make me old. Not grey yet though. So.
But you know, I think I'm all right. Again,
I'm all right. You've got lovely. You've definitely got lockdown hair going on,
mate. Honestly, I am full on lockdown hair. I was going to ask you, how's Kate feeling about going back to work tomorrow?
Has got all the anxiety.
Has she? Yeah.
No, all the anxiety in the world. That is currently in my wife.
Really? Just
yeah.
Is that about COVID, or is that about like the rust, or is that about how busy it's going to be, or
all of it?
Yeah.
All of the above. She said to me earlier. She went, "What happens if I've forgotten?" It's like, "What? You cut my hair the other day." It's like, "Yeah, but you're not a woman." I was like, it's a bit harsh. Could be if I wanted. But yeah, it's about everything. She took a COVID test this morning, bless her, to make sure she was all right. She was gutted because it came back negative. she wanted it because she didn't want to go back to work. But yeah, there's a lot of pressure, and I've been all right because I've been working the whole time. So, and my job isn't that strenuous. It's as fucking as strenuous as you want to be. But I never realised the amount of pressure that the likes of hairdressers and beauticians and things like that actually go through until this. Like the other night when it was all released and people could go back to work and whatnot, the dates, her phone didn't stop ringing and texts coming through until about 12 o'clock that night, and then started again first thing in the morning. And she's there writing it all down. I actually didn't mind it because I got to play fucking Assassin's Creed Vikings for like 4 hours while she was playing about with that, which was fine. But yeah, it's like the demand, that the stress that she was going through to try and fit all these people in. And some people are just cunts as well. It's like, oh, have you got this time? No, I haven't. Oh, could you make it earlier? No, I can't. I'll go somewhere else then. Crack on. Why are you putting that pressure on? Just ask for a date. What date have you got? Everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah. I mean, people obviously really care about it, right? I mean, I'm quite keen to get this mop sorted out.
Yeah, of course.
But some people really care, and I understand why she feels pressure from that, because I'm sure I'm sure she does a fantastic job, but in instances where some people don't do good jobs cutting hair or don't do good jobs being a beautician, people will mouth off and shout about it on Facebook. It will kick off, because for some people, it's one of the most, their appearance is so important to them, and getting it right or wrong is a big deal. So
and to blow smoke up her ass a little bit, Kate is very, very good at her job. Obviously, she's been doing it since she was fucking 15, and but even now, even like 15 years later, she's been in the same salon, same job, majority of the same clients. She still gets nervous, and when she has a new client, she gets fucking even worse. Like, she literally starts panicking about the next day because of this new client.
Really, yeah.
And I'm like, I try and like big her up as best I can, but sometimes it's just fuck. She's like, what do you know? It's like, yeah, good point. I don't know.
Don't know.
But I have not a clue. Couldn't do it. And I remember way back when, this is a story. This is like at my nan's 80th, right? And we were all sat playing drinking games. And my cousin Matthew, who is a extreme academic, you might say, went to Oxford, all that sort of pish.
Talk about extreme academics to me. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, he is. He's a smart person. That's what, you know what I mean? Like you. Yeah. Nah, but you're not a knob. Not saying that Matt's... Yeah, I am. He was a knob. On this particular time, he was a knob.
Okay, tell me the time that he was a knob, yeah.
So we were doing word association, and he was pulling out some fucking words that you're like, why are you saying that? How are we supposed to associate? Well, it actually means, it's like, fuck off, dickhead. But then he was starting to belittle a little bit me and Kate, because we had certain jobs where I was an infantryman, Kate's a hairdresser. And then, to be fair to Darren went, oh, I'll stop you there. Could you cut a graduated bob perfectly? Yeah. And he was like, no. And you went, well, so why are you giving her shit for? Yeah. We're having a drinking game. Just do the drinking game. If I say tree, you say leaf. Fucking dickhead.
If I say tree, don't say photosynthesis.
Yes.
Where am I going to go with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Sap. But yeah, it was like that. But yeah, she's very stressed, and I think we're going to get a new wave of obviously issues within in the noggin with people going back into work properly.
Yeah, so, well, do you
check on your buddies.
The next wave of COVID?
No,
I mean another wave.
Of course there is. As long as it's after the football, I don't care.
But it's just, yeah. It's just hopefully now with vaccines that there's
Yeah,
not...
with the vaccines and stuff. But also, when are we going to get to the point? I know you've had it and you had it quite badly. Kate's dad had it quite badly. I've been lucky.
That's good.
I haven't had it. But when are we going to get to the point where we're going to have to say, we're just going to have to live with this now?
Like, yeah, we were saying the other day, me and Marth, like the people that haven't been vaccinated are our age, right?
Yep.
Obviously Marth has been vaccinated for work, but our generation, and we make up a very large proportion of people that are going to be mixing, and obviously school children. And at the moment, the rule, as you well know, if someone in one of your kids' class has it in their bubble, then the whole bubble is off, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Bubble burst. Everyone's home. Like, those kids are not going to be vaccinated
COVID.
for a very long time, if at all. Like, when do we get rid of that rule? When do we start having it that that people don't have to isolate if you've been in contact with someone from COVID? Because like you can't run.
No, we can't run the country for a start.
Yeah, I can't run track and do it. But when are we going to change the rules? When we go back to some of the normality? I mean, I'm okay with us wearing masks for much longer.
I don't mind that.
Whatever, I don't care.
And the people that do moan about it, guess what? You can't. Yeah, just wear your mask.
Just wear a mask. And like, what hand sanitizer on the way into shops? Yeah, well,
it's not hard, is it? It's not hard. Yeah,
that'd be all right. But like, yeah, the bubble thing again. When it's necessary, I'm 100% bought into a lot of what they've done. I think they should lock down earlier. But like, I learned this the other day. You still can't go into care home, right? And if someone who lives in a care home can't leave the care home to go and do something. Okay. Now, this is a stage where they've all been offered a vaccine, and everyone who works there has been offered a vaccine. And when you think about the demographic of people in care homes, most of their children have now had the vaccine or been offered the vaccine. Because if you're in a care home, your parents are probably in their in their 50s at the latest, and the 50-year-olds have had it now. So been offered it now. So I'm kind of thinking, well, if not now, you say, right, care homes, do what you want. Then when? Like, they've all been vaccinated. Like, who's saying no to having a vaccine if you're in a care home? Like, you're either never going to have the vaccine and therefore nothing's going to change, or like, why are we not saying? And I'm all for saying we need to. The rules should be applied to everyone the same, whether you've had the vaccine or not. We shouldn't say 80-year-old can go on holiday if you've had 2 vaccines, and you can't, Sean Thompson, because you've not had 2 vaccines. Because actually, whatever. But with the care homes, I think just say open them up, let people go in, because you should have all had your vaccines by now. And how long have you got left? And quality of life goes back to that again, doesn't it? Anyway, rant over. Sorry.
Big circle there. Back to the quality of life and OnlyFans. So care home OnlyFans. They could make tons. But yeah, and when do we get to the point where it's? I know it's not the same as the flu, by the way. Before anyone goes, it's not the same. It's different. But we live with the flu. It kills a lot of people as well.
I mean, we will get to the stage where we.
Yeah, at some point we have to be at that stage.
It's going to be everywhere. Like we're not getting rid of COVID here, and we're going to have. We're ahead of the game in the vaccine department.
Game changers.
We'll see what happens with AstraZeneca, but we're ahead of the game for that, and which is good news. But there's no point in having a country that's fully vaccinated if it's everywhere else.
Yeah.
Like it for me, it seems ridiculous that I've already had the shot. I'm relatively low risk. I've not had the shot. I've already had the disease. It'd be ridiculous if we're giving all us 30-year-olds the vaccine when most of us are going to be okay with it. When yet there are people who are in their 60s working in healthcare in other countries who haven't had a vaccine. Now, I know that you can't, like, infrastructure-wise, there are some countries where it's going to be difficult to vaccinate people. I understand that. But, like, why are we like, it makes much more sense. The biggest problem now for us, the biggest threat is a new variant that comes along that means that our vaccine is now ineffective. And the best way to protect against that is to make sure that other countries don't have it just rampaging around and whatever. Yeah, going all willy-nilly, having a chance to mutate, right? So the best thing we can do...
It loves to mutate, though, doesn't it, this COVID?
Yeah, and like vaccines...
Pretty quick.
Viruses always mutate. That's literally...
That's literally what it does.
I mean, Dido Harding said none of us could have predicted that the vaccine's going to mutate. Like, no, actually, that's like literally the first thing.
No, that's what everybody knows.
Yeah.
Everyone that went to science class.
Yeah.
Like, even I knew that.
Even
Sean James Thompson knew that.
Everyone, including Sean James. I didn't say even.
But yeah, I did have my skeptical hippo eyes on when they were going, oh, we're gonna start easing the lockdowns, and then, oh no, there's a new Brazilian one.
Yeah.
And now there's a new South African one. It's like, hang on, where the fuck has that come from?
To be honest, they literally just told you Brazil and South Africa. It's in the name.
Yeah, but we were supposed to have a travel ban.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, and again, like it's the travel stuff is.
Yeah, we could rant for days, mate.
Bloody COVID. Yeah, I think
Bloody
the one
COVID.
thing we've got right is the vaccine stuff.
Got that pretty quick as well, mind.
Say again.
Got that pretty quick, didn't we? That was another skeptical hippo. If you were a conspiracy theorist, you were like, hang on, you're supposed to take this amount of time, and it took this amount of time. You knew it was coming.
Well, the Oxford one, I mean, the Oxford one, basically what they had is so the antigen, should we talk about
that? Let's do it. Let me get the whiskey out. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
That's
so yeah, I see it there. I know it's untouched.
It's teasing me.
Yeah. OnlyFans. They mapped all the antigens, which is the bit on the outside of the vaccine that the blood cell, the white blood cells can attack. So they had all of them, and they'd like basically got this big database of antigens. And so what they do, and they work out what will attach to it. So they kind of have like the kit all ready to go, and they just realized that we need to have this because when pandemic flu was like number one on the UK risk register forever, apart from terrorism, which isn't technically on the list because it's not on the list. Pandemic flu, cyber terrorism, and coastal flooding are the three biggest risks to the UK. On the UK National Risk Register. So they knew it was coming because it's going to come at some point. They didn't know it would be this one, but they had all the stuff ready to go. The thing that took the longest time was obviously the testing on it, which,
I would have volunteered.
Do you know, I mean,
but
Martha said
that, I'm also
Martha didn't like my idea, but
thick
I
as
said
shit. And I was like, I don't know where to go to volunteer. Because I would have gone, prick me if you want.
I am also. I think they just randomly did it. So I got selected for the study where they check if you've got the antibodies. I think it's the REACT study, which again it was just like on postcodes. So it's got this thing for the
postcode lottery.
Yeah, postcode. They said, "Hey, you've won £30,000," and I was like, "Wow."
And you opened it and you went, "Only joking, mate. You're getting tested." Oh, fuck.
Only joking.
And it came back. He came back. You had AIDS, so
that would be a surprise.
And you can only catch that once, so lucky you.
Yeah. I mean that's one way of looking at that. But yeah. So I think they randomly grab people, but it's vaccines. New wave. There'll be another wave. Hopefully, it doesn't disrupt the football.
It fucking better not, because otherwise I'm going to slap Boris, even though it's not his fault.
Is it not his fault?
Might be his fault.
Might be his fault. The Stanley Johnson clause. Good on Stan. Stad. Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that you're less of keen on Bojo than you were. He's gone out of your good books.
He did, yeah. He fucked my Christmas.
They really,
Not just him. Everybody fucked the Christmas, didn't they? You can't just blame him. You can. Fuck it. You can just blame him.
Yeah, it's his ultimately it's his decision. I mean, he obviously decided that they wanted to have stuff open in the lead up to Christmas. They probably should have, yeah. But what they should have done, they did it the wrong way around, right? They did it the wrong way around. If the data says we need to lock down, then we need to lock down. It's the only thing they've got. But they should have said, hey guys, if everyone's really good, we might allow you to open for 2 days over Christmas. And what they said was really early. Hey, you can have like 6 days where you can do what you want. It's going to be amazing. Amazing. And so everyone gets their hopes up and plans and buys food and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden you get told you're in tier 4, you can't do jack. We get told we're in whatever, we were in tier 1.
What were you? You were happy-go-lucky tier 1, and then the Welsh went, ha ha ha.
Everyone turned up. Yeah,
we're coming over.
Really screwed Herefordshire over. And we were, tier 3.
To be fair, down here in Kent, we were fucked the whole time. So nothing was happening with us.
Yeah. Well, that's where the variant came from, wasn't it? It
was
you guys.
Yeah. And I think it's funny because there's loads of people here. They were like, how is it all coming in from Kent? Dover? Yeah. That's all I needed to say.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was just awful. I mean, again, to give people hope. I mean, they did it.
And then just to snatch it away.
What was the religious festival? Was it Muslim? It's not Ramadan because that's
Ramadan's now. Wasn't Diwali? Was it?
No, I'm sure it was. But it was like in Manchester. It was literally it was just literally the week before or the weekend before one of the big religious festivals. And everyone had, obviously made all their plans, whatever. And they're like, no, lockdown in Manchester, can't do anything.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, exactly. People have been cooking for days. I know people from work who are Muslim, and they've been like gearing up for this celebration, had it all planned out. Oh yes, by the way, sorry, you can't do any of that now. It was like literally on the Friday, and the thing was due to happen on Saturday or Sunday. So it's just what it is. COVID, eh?
Fucking.
Talk about something else.
Can do.
Bored of COVID now. Bored.
I think everyone's bored of COVID. Fuck COVID. I just hate the name. I hate the name as well. Yeah. COVID.
Yeah. Coronavirus. I mean, that's a hit.
Like the Crazy Frog.
Sean's next project. Coronavirus song.
My next project. I'm not allowed any more projects, I've been told. I need to chill.
I don't think projects are good, mate.
I like a project.
First one through the book. I think that was me. Nailed it. Within about 2 days.
Sign that when I see you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Bring it around.
I gave my dad an author's copy because I got 2 author's copies.
Yeah.
One for myself, obviously, which is in the Shedio. And I gave my dad one when I randomly went to Hereford last week because you're allowed to. And he started flicking through and he went, "There's bits in here that are different." I was like, "Different to?" He went, "Well, you sent me the original." I went, "Yeah, that was just the original draft." "It's bloody different, boy. I'm gonna have to reread it." It's like, good.
Yeah.
It'll probably take you 2 minutes, according to the reviews. So how did it go? Mixed reviews.
Well, there were some people that read it and some people that didn't. How's that? But the good news is some of those crappy ones were verified, which means they paid for it.
Yeah, so
who's laughing?
Me.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight in my back pocket for my new football boots. Yeah. I stopped reading them, if I'm honest, because even the positive ones, because that's not the reason why I did it. I didn't do it to read reviews all day. Unfortunately, Zero Alpha in the house kept reading them, and she was getting upset with certain ones. I'm like, are you going to read the happy ones? Or she was like, yeah, but they're saying it. I was like, oh, fuck them.
But like,
They did the same with the podcast. They did the same with the mini documentary. When they're always going to do it.
It's like if that's what they want to do, like there's people who've clearly not read or not consumed any of the content, or the content have just heard,
No.
oh, well, this is what it is. I'm going to make my decision on what I think of that now.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to troll.
And
if that's what they want to do, then, you know.
Exactly. And quite a lot of it, mate. And this is one of the reasons why I said that I was sort of moving away from the military stuff, is that they've literally focused in on the things that I did or didn't do in the military, which we didn't actually do a lot. But that doesn't mean it wasn't a stressful environment. But they're thinking that I've written a book like fucking Andy McNabb.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. If you get through that bit, that's just a little subsection. Yeah. The main part is pretty much towards the end.
Yeah. Actually, I think it worked really well. You know, there was a bit of stuff at the beginning, obviously set the scene and kind of give your backstory, and a bit of home story as well, and some legend called Chris turns up, and then and then obviously there is the military, and you know, there's a handful of stories in there about stuff that happened and some of your emotions and stuff that were going on, and obviously some of the key events with Robbo and the key events with the sniper. Well, not the sniper, but like when you saw the abuse happening. But then, you know, I think it kind of moved on from that. It was like saying, well, actually, then a journey happened after that. And what I loved, actually, was at the end that you kind of ended with some of the reviews that you had on the podcast. Some of the trolls, and it was just like a massive fuck you to anyone that was like saying, hey, anyone who was thinking of trolling you. Of course, they wouldn't have read the book, because that's the point. They haven't actually read it. They're just making it up. They're saying the story that they think that they want you to have said, so they can say it's wrong. You know, and it's kind of like putting that in there, knowing that they're not going to read it, is like, mate, I know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say. Honestly, I'm over it now. I'm past it. I've moved on.
Yeah, exactly.
You can say what you want. You can do what you want. It's a free country. And you know, it is my truth. This is what happened. You don't know who I am. You don't know what's going on inside my head.
That's the thing. They like to think they know who I am. I was called all sorts, mate. I spoke to another bloke who was basically giving me a bit of a heads up to why some of the cunts are being cunty. And one of the reasons was, he said, they think you're a narcissist. And I was like, they think I'm a narcissist. They were like, yeah, because the way you set up a podcast, the way you did the documentary and the book, it's all about you. I was like, no, that's just my story. This is the reason why I'm doing it, is to show people that you can have mental health issues and talk about it. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because of cunts like that try and stop you from talking about it. And they wonder why.
It's a clear message, isn't it? You put a clear message across to say, guys, we need to talk about this much more than we do, and we don't talk about it. And you know, I think something that's come through in the last episodes more recently is like this focusing on a loss of identity from when you leave and the transition.
Yeah,
and why that's
definitely.
difficult. And that should be discussed and talked about openly too. And so then effectively what you've got is people just trying to suppress that message.
Yeah. You suppress it and it makes it all worse.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you've spoken about how you thought some people were not making stuff up, but saying they're depressed. You're like, why are you depressed?
Yeah.
Because
I've been there, mate. I've been in their shoes, looking at somebody else, thinking, what are you on about? But in reality, when I was thinking, what are you on about, I knew that I was having little issues. Little niggles, because I spoke to Nick about it before I even went and got help. I was like, something not right, Nick, and then he was very supportive and whatnot. But yeah, I wrote a book, so I did. The dyslexic that was told that he was never going to be able to do anything like that. So
No.
Yeah. Fuck you, teachers and trolls.
Teachers and trolls. We'll lump them together.
Yeah, especially senior lecturers.
Senior lecturers. Yeah, I'm not a teacher. I'm senior lecturer.
Senior. He's got his own little hat and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just dyslexic. I can't spell the word senor.
It's just a made-up word, mate.
Yeah. It's made up. It's a made-up word. What's that from? Brass eye. Anyway.
What? Fucking gone.
Yeah. I mean, we could go on that tangent if you want, but again,
probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. I'm not gonna lie, mate. I really need a piss.
Yeah. Well.
And it's not that time of day for OnlyFans, so.
Do you know what? When you say that, this just makes me think of like your episode with Darren, where he must have the bladder. Given he's a chef and he stands up all day and must hold it in for a long time. When he sits down with you, he's got the bladder the size of a pea. That man, and he's like, 10 minutes in, I need to go piss. You're like, but dude, we just started. Yeah.
He goes for a piss. Yeah, and then he leaves me to talk to myself.
I'm just gonna go.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I never thought about doing this until recently. I could just press pause when he goes for a toilet.
Yeah, well, I've honestly thought that a few times. Then why is
nobody thought to tell me because I'm part retard. Hey, Tommo, just press pause, mate, or edit. I don't edit it.
I mean, I know that.
I'm unscripted, unedited.
And
unsubscribed.
There's the bit with Darren, and you're like, Darren said, "This isn't a really episode," and then you just plan like your next like meeting. Like, well, yeah, we'll talk on this day, and then that's the end of the podcast. Just after that bit, like on my run, like
there was a brilliant one where he said, like, he just ranted for about 30 minutes about trolls and whatnot, and he went, "Mate, we're not going to put that one up.
Yeah,
just cut it and we'll put it up." I went, "Oh, yeah, cool, put it up."
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He went, "Why'd you do that? I told you not to do that." And I went, "Funny."
Well, for those of you that made it this far, I hope you enjoyed the bit about pedagogy early on, and that Sean's left in.
I'm leaving everything in. Leaving it all in. All in. But yeah, mate, I love having you on. I'm gonna have you on more often.
We'll do it. Yeah. I'll come back on.
Yeah, of course you will. You're definitely coming back on. And to be fair, every time we have a phone call, it might as well be a podcast. We're on the phone.
No, that's
Kate's like, who are you on the phone to? You've been on the phone for 4 hours. Like, Chris doesn't shut up.
Why have you wet yourself? Well, I told him I needed a piss.
I told him I needed a piss 30 minutes ago. And then we started talking about, I don't know, atoms.
Atoms.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, we haven't spoken about atoms at all.
We're not going to either. I'm starting to do the fucking dad jig now because I need a wear.
All right.
Oh, mate.
Dude,
always a privilege.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
You're very welcome.
And guest of the decade is always available. The reigning guest of the decade.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely have you on.
All right,
always a privilege. All right, mate. Bye.